This movie has everything I love. Hotels, psychopaths, and snow. Bela Bartok, Wendy Carlos. Amazing. Actually, this movie has the 3 scariest things ever. One is this is the live reaction of The Shining from Stanley Kubrick. One of my favorite movies. I love this movie. I saw it when I was a kid. Actually, I saw the scene of the room with the beautiful old lady. So yeah, I have a lot of good memories. I thought you know what, I'm going to watch it again and live comment what goes into my head. And with the goal to transmit to you some of my visual language and film theory ideas, things that I can comment that may serve you to something. So yeah, let's do this. Here we go, Warner Brothers. First of all, let me tell you that anything in Stanley Kubrick's movies was left to luck. This guy was a perfectionist, borderline psychopathic man that would have complete control over what we are seeing in screen. And that is very cool. Very ballsy to start like this. This was shot with, of course, a helicopter, wide-angle lenses, eerie sensation following this car, a road in Colorado. What makes it eerie too, I cannot put it because of the copyright, but you know, the music, strange for that time, synthesizers, maybe it can help you. Here we go. The color, the blue color, Stanley, this blue color. I don't know, I have my doubts. Very 80s maybe. Cool thing. Here, what do we have? A car stopped in the middle of nowhere, it seems. Second car stopped. It gives us an idea of they're far away from civilization, basically. That's the main goal of the introduction. For now, we're seeing 2 cars leaving, 1 car going. So they're going to a place where no other people live. The way it structures the movie is by chapters. And as we're going to see, it's a very good way to anticipate something that is going to happen. In this movie, we're going to see a lot of one-shot sequences or long shots. An entire scene or sequence film in one continuous take on a single camera. Maybe to put us in the shoes of the main characters, and because, as we've seen with all the foreshadowing and anticipation, in this movie, we're just waiting for something to happen. And I think that this method is perfect to create the tension that this brings. Again, for dialogue, reinforcing that they're incommunicated. They will be incommunicated 3 hours away from civilization. For now, we don't know why he's there for an interview, but
it's a 25-mile stretch of road. It gets an average of 20 feet of snow during...
Again, over-explanation about exclusion, isolation. Okay, let's stop here. Basically, from the beginning, we've been exposing the idea of isolation. The trip to the hotel, you know, in the middle of nowhere, in the road, snow, cars parked, people leaving, commentary of the kid not wanting to go there. And now the dialogue, exposition. And to make it even more clear, they explain his job. That involves high levels of isolation.
Kind of claustrophobic reaction.
Cabin fever, more potential outcomes, threats. We'll see. So it's cool how he doesn't play games. Basically, we know from the beginning that this is going to be a horror movie. Kind of know from the beginning that probably he's going to lose his mind. Why he picked Jack Nicholson. This guy seems like he's going to flip the fuck out in 1 second. Bite you or murder you if he doesn't like the amount of salt in your soup that you just prepared. So I think that the cool thing here is when and how it's going to happen. The what, we kind of know it. And Kubrick plays with this. It's kind of like he's mocking us. We know that potentially the wife and the son are going to be primary victims of something bad that will happen here. Okay, we want more information. Come on. A lot is traveling ins, these slow-paced movements, push in, zoom in, lots of zoom ins here. Another tool used inserting shortcuts, foreshadowing that something will go sideways. One of the most known shots in cinema history. Did we wanted more reassurance that everything is going to go wrong? And this moment is a perfect example of creating scenes that make the story move forward, that serve to something. Explaining as a capacity or something out of normal, kind of strange with this kid. Another example of anticipation. This conversation serves story for 2 things. One is that, well, 3 actually, because to reinforce that there's something strange with this kid. Second, make it kind of real. And, you know, having a kid or somebody that you love that is kind of problematic in a certain way or special can lead to a certain degree of burnout. So it makes it even more possible that this situation could be real. And the third is we're going to explain what is the relationship, what happened between the father and the kid.
Wasn't exactly in the greatest mood that night. Well, Danny had scattered some of his school papers.
Alarm. Jack Nicholson already harmed the kid. I love this cut. Very well timed cut. So why not this could happen again? You know the word. Anticipation. Very sharp cuts. Closing day. Boom. No music, etc. They feel like slaps. I don't give a fuck about what his wife says. He's tired. Again, how is it going to happen?
They had to resort to cannibalism in order to stay alive.
Isolation, what you have to do in order to survive. Eat people, cannibalism. It sucks that we cannot use the music to it. And from scene to scene, we're seeing a lot of dissolves. It's interesting. These movements that they don't look like they serve to anything. They're not motivated by anything, you know, they just like go, and then yes, we will like accompany, we'll track these two guys to Jack Nicholson, but they feel kind of, you know, there's something there, maybe. And now we're going to present the hotel, we're going to present the geography of the location. And here, of course, with the music that makes everything more creepy, and the zoom out and in, creepy as fuck. So from the beginning, I love how he doesn't waste time. He goes directly. First time that we see Danny in the hotel, beep, we have these two little children. It's going to be important to kind of have an idea of the location, you know, how is it organized? As we can see here, there's going to be a very important scene that probably everybody of you know. So again, a dissolve and the maze. It's cool because he's showing us all the parts of the location where certain stuff is going to happen.
We always remove all the booze from the premises when we shut down.
He doesn't drink anymore, we'll see. And introduction of one of the main important characters. Not wasting time. By the way, Stanley Kubrick loved Max Ophuls, or the King of Camera Movement, one of the best German directors in the first half of the 20th century. And in this movie, he goes all in with it. Let's continue, not wasting time, showing us so we are familiarized with the location where everything is going to happen. The lobby, the room with the bathroom, the dancing hall, and now the freezer. Bim, bam, like good old Catalan soccer.
But how did you know that?
Well, I guess I probably heard you call him that.
They gotcha, and he's not wasting time. Directly, he's connecting that this guy has some kind of paranormal capacity as Danny. Here we go. With, of course, pushing in with the camera. Creepy stuff. So every time that he uses this, push in, traveling in, etc., is to like show some kind of threat, presence, or, you know, paranormal activity. Depth of field changes, scale of the shot changes. Now it's more intimate. Important information that we have to swallow. So he shows this conversation in close-ups.
Maybe he showed me something.
Foreshadowing, threat. Something's going to happen. How? When? We don't know. But interesting way to put the camera in a certain way with this attrezzo pointing directly to this guy. So it's consistent with the threat. Exit right here. Should leave, dude. Importance of
What about room 237?
There ain't nothing in room 237.
Stay out of room 237. Don't think about pink elephants flying. That's the same. We know that this kid is going to go there. And of course, again, another level of mystery. What are we going to find in room 237? Never know.
So stay out.
And boom, shortcut chapter. In this movie, we're just waiting for something to happen. That's what makes it very cool. And you think, how can I create this tension, you know, and make it like tense, longer? Don't cut, and we have the amazing long shots that we have seen throughout all the movie. With this amazing sound too, exasperating. And it's a very cool way to like show like what is going to be in the next corner. Is going to appear something or what?
It's just a matter of settling back into the habit of writing every day.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Passive aggressive, right there. This man that wants to be a writer, he cannot write. He's fighting against his own resistance to put on to work and to write, procrastinating, not putting the work. And a guy that cannot concentrate and do what he wants to do. Probably he's frustrated, and his kid is kind of like strange in a way, special, I don't see that there is like a very union between them. A woman that it's kind of like, could be very whiny, weak in a way. It's bored as fuck. Then it's the way to show that he's starting to go a little bit nuts. This shot shows him as a hunter, a kind of semi-god right out of mythology. The Minotaur and the Labyrinth. Amazing shot. And they are the prey. Amazing cut reinforced with sound. And again, it's that thing of sharp cuts, sharp sounds, kind of like disconnected Tuesday. Okay, but why are you giving me this information? Why is it going to happen in Wednesday or something? You know, it creates some anticipation, it creates some, what is it going to happen next? Right here, what Perplexity says. Perplexity is a new AI search engine that I use a lot. What are the chapters of The Shining serve for? The chapter breaks sometimes interrupt scenes or thoughts, mimicking the fractured mental state of the characters, especially Jack. This fragmentation reflects the influence of the supernatural forces of the overlooked hotel. Again, isolation in this TV, weather, snow, closed roads, isolation, reinforcement, just repeating the same strategy in different ways all the time, and they work. And here we go, another way of we're following Danny, and in every turn you expect something. But now, amazing cut. So here Stanley uses the multi-scale shot, putting in the same shot two elements in different scale values. In this one, we have right here Danny, this part, and we have right here the door. Voila, 237. So it's very cool when you put in the foreground something that is blurry. Of course, it is blurry because Kubrick wants us to read his part right here. But it always creates some tension, and we will see it in specific moments. His reaction. Let's not leave it here. Let's push it a little bit more. So I'm going to open the door. Do it, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. He wants to go in. Ooh. Nice insert of the creepy shot of the twins. Creepy stuff. He's mixing ways that he's using visual language. For example, he's going with Danny, following him, cutting corners, turning into corners. He showed us two girls all the time, like appearing here and there. So why not maybe in one of these turns, these girls will appear. You know what I mean? And again, let's add more frustration to this man. He's in the zone, working, doing something that is very difficult for him, that it's getting into the zone. As we saw before, he's always like playing with balls and stuff. And what happens? He's pissed. We push in terms of shot size. Amazing way to frame her and the use of geometry. Rectangle blocks in this case to transmit an idea or sensation. He puts a lot of pressure to her face. What we see in the background, we have this and this, the background, putting pressure, direct pressure into her face. A pretty cool shot. Why does it come right after that moment? Because we see Jack being very pissed at her because it's like a threat. We're kind of visually pushing, putting pressure on her. Like something bad probably is going to happen.
Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?
Very elegantly, we push out. Zoom in right after what just happened. An argument, he shows his frustration and his anger. He's literally losing it. And as we see, the frequency of these shortcuts with the chapters is getting faster and faster. With this shot of the location snowing, we reinforce the idea of isolation. That's right, isolation. Try it, baby. Not going to work. You're fucked. One of the only shots of contact with the outside.
Are the lines down by any chance?
Yes, quite a few of them are down due to the storm. Over.
Boy, this storm is really something.
Reinforcing isolation again. Another kind of Steadicam. Now it is slow. We're losing Danny. He's on his own. Boom. People dying in the theaters. Jump scare. Violent cuts. The fact of staying with this shot so close to makes it more scary because you don't have a reference of the location of the space, so you don't know where they can like get you or not.
He only went to bed a few hours ago.
I won't make a sound, I promise I'll tiptoe.
Why not? Because if not, something's going to happen with your father. Careful. This is the first time maybe that we put the child in a situation of threat related to the father. Jack hasn't been sleeping a lot. He's tired. And a violent pan to show the father. to connect these two elements together, father and son. Here he is, enjoying the view. He's trying to love his boy, but it doesn't look like he can, and like he knows what a drama. So he's not sleeping, he's tired, starting to get very frustrated with his wife.
Dad? What? You would never hurt Mommy or me, would you?
Foreshadowing, anticipation.
Did your mother ever say that to you? That I would hurt you?
Good dialogue, because it serves as foreshadowing, anticipation, etc. But too, it gives an excuse to like pump up the hatred, anger between the couple. Well done, Stanley. Reinforcement, you know what, isolation. And the creepy stuff continues. Very iconic shot. Amazing. So this POV is very, very cool because basically we go inside a room, but we don't want to go to the room at all. I mean, imagine being in the cinema, first time that you see this movie, and the last thing you want to do is getting in that room. So what does Stanley Kubrick do? We get inside Danny's head, and with no hesitation, with no reverse shot, we go inside the room, literally. And he doesn't give us any other option. And here it cuts the tension, but it places in another place, so we don't know what's going on. It basically increases probably the tension. And now this starts to get serious. Okay, is Jack having a dream? Nightmare probably. In the meantime, what's going on with Danny? In room 237, the tension is going up. Amazing shot. We have here, we come from him having like a disturbing nightmare. We don't know what the fuck is going on with the kid. It's crazy screams, etc. And we have the first kind of Baroque composition. Here, one element in the foreground, a line, kind of like diagonal line here that cuts these ones. And yeah, this is like putting pressure into them. I would say this is putting pressure into them too. Everything is made to put some kind of pressure into Jack and his wife. I love the choice of lenses. See here in the foreground how this is out of focus. And this part here too, out of focus. Very cool shot. And here he's humanizing him.
But I didn't just kill you. I cut you up into little pieces.
Foreshadowing, script, writing, anticipation. I am losing my mind. And we see the kid with this slow pace, steady cam behind Danny. This creates tension. We know where he has been, but we don't know what happened to him. We see that his, I don't know, clothes are kind of like messed up maybe, but he's waiting, anticipating what happened to him. And now he will move the camera, push in, and this shit gets real. Now it's physical. Something happened in that room that hurt him, attacked him. And that's creepy as fuck. Why? Because all this time we've been like, I don't know, stuff, visions. Yes, like a tennis ball blowing, but this could be in his head. I don't know. But now we see him with stuff in his neck. The mother sees it. And this, of course, is going to open a kind of worms. Who did this? If nobody else in the fucking hotel. Amazing shot, by the way. What happened to your neck? You have it in the middle. Right here. And cool shot. What did we say before? We have here a multi-scale shot. So right here we have tension between Jack and the family that is going to probably hurt. And how would you resolve this sequence of shots? Like this. Oh shit. The oh shit moment. Frustration goes up and anger, frustration, is losing his mind. And followed by an amazing moment. Where's the worst that could happen now? What is the thing that he wants the most? Being potentially, they don't say, but maybe an alcoholic. And him, again, breaking fourth wall. I love movies that blend things that could be in your head, in the characters' heads, you know, the boundaries between what's real and what's not. The Shining is very, very good at this. It makes it in a very easy way. It flows. Like this amazing shot of Jack Nicholson breaking the fourth wall. Love it. Again, another shot that is quite Baroque. Line. The shoulder of the ghost is putting pressure on him. Thanks to the dialogue, we'll see how this barman is kind of like a motherfucker because he's putting pressure on Jack Nicholson. He's making him like a therapist. Try to get stuff out of him. Try to see what pushes him He basically gives him what he really wants, that it's this little fella right here and the bottle. And as we can see here, his shoulder is adding pressure into the composition, into him. Yeah, almost 30% of the composition. It's not bad. But yeah, as I said, the pressure is going to come to as dialogue, as the script.
That bitch. As long as I live, she'll never let me forget what happened.
Ooh, very explicit. And we change the size of the shot. We go more into his head. We're more focused on him. And as we see here, we have blurred background. So we focus on Jack Nicholson. Now we are closer to his head, to his mind. Again, it's interesting where all his frustration comes from. He's like a frustrated author, novelist, writer, and his family is basically in the middle of it. Now we understand why he broke Danny's arm. He was playing with his work probably, and he fucked it up, and he reacted like that. This line is interesting because it reinforces a main thing that it's on the air in all the movie, and I think it's one of the biggest fears that this movie transmits. Basically going crazy, how easy it can be for somebody kind of normal or with some tendencies to, like flip with this little thing, flip to the other side. And this is 100% one of the most like scary things ever. Actually, this movie has the 3 scariest things ever. One is going crazy. Second is isolation. You're like alone and something bad happens, like being in a place where you're like completely hopeless. And third is hurting your loved ones. So yeah, this movie has it all.
There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms. She tried to strangle Danny.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
One of the best sentences in the movie, and probably in Stanley Kubrick's filmography. We go back to Civilization.
Officials in Colorado tell Newswatch at least 3 people have been killed by exposure to freezing winds.
Isolation. Grandpa's having a moment. Quite a strong close-up. Look, the colors in this movie. It's crazy how it breaks all the horror movies convention. Darks, shadows, etc. Crazy 80s colors. Very cool. So basically the hotel is seducing him. I remember when I was, 8, that my parents said like, don't watch The Shining. Don't go into room 2037. The same stuff. And I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it was my first experience maybe with like something erotic. But what comes after, it's kind of like very fucking creepy. I read The Shining a long time ago. Is this in the book? Again, another extreme close-up.
Did you find anything?
No, nothing at all.
Yeah. So he's covering up, basically.
Leave the hotel?
And great example of how with the cinematic language tools, we can transmit ideas directly to our subconscious.
It is so fucking typical of you to create a problem like this when I finally have a chance to accomplish something.
In this cut, there is a noticeable change in the intensity of his anger. Disproportionate, actually. He goes from 0 to, let's say, 80%, with no progression. It's a way of saying that the hotel, the cat, will make him flip and go crazy. I love this cat. The cards are on the table. It's interesting that he lights this room like this, like the old noir film. And, like a horror film would be more like this, than what we saw before. So now we are all into the craziness. So we're going to deliver an important piece of information that will put an idea, sediment an idea in Jack's head. And for that, we're going to make great use of color. What are the most violent colors for our sight, for our view? White and red. Kubrick just delivered a very specific piece of information. Grady, the guy that was referenced in the beginning of the movie, the hotel keeper that killed his family with an axe. And what does Kubrick do when we hear the name? 100-degree angle change. And as we're going to see in the most iconic scene of this movie, it's a method that Kubrick uses very, very well. So when something important is happening or the most important piece of information is given or something, you have this method on your toolbox. You can make a big change of angle in the composition to create like a break. And that's what happens here. We hear the name of Grady and he switches the camera 180 degrees. And good old change of scale when we deliver important information.
I'm sorry to differ with you, sir. You've always been the caretaker.
realizes that your son is attempting to bring an outside party into this situation.
And another storytelling strategy to increase the tension. So when we go back to the real world, we introduce a new piece of information that will give hope to find a resolution to this whole crazy stuff. Let's say like this, the good guys are above. But now, as we can see here, the bad guys know. So we increase tension. And it's always important to find some kind of balance. You know, you make like a little bit, you give a little bit of hope that something is going to be resolved, but then you put something in the middle of the bicycle wheel, to say it in some way. So seemingly the only hope that they have is going to go to shit. And for that, he decides to give it like a proper shot.
I'll go about the folks at the Overlook Hotel. Oh, yeah. We tried to contact them several times by radio, but they didn't answer.
Let's increase the probability that this is going to go sideways completely. From the beginning, we know that this is going to go sideways. But he's showing us, he's repeating, foreshadowing that this is going to go wrong. It's cool because he uses all the cinema language methods that will help him create tension, create this, anticipation and constant threat and foreshadowing of something very bad happening with everything that he has in his control. Cinematography, composition, with the dialogues, the editing, the chapters, the music, of course, everything. And this is very cool to watch. And the reference to the red car of Stephen King's novel. Same car, but red color. It's like probably like a little finger to the author saying, this is my movie. It's not your shit book. Solve it. Grow up. Enjoy. Mimi. And now the story is advancing. The kid completely lost it. What a dramon. And now we need proof that he completely lost his mind, but she needs to know that to like really freak out. And now a beautiful way to introduce the presence of Jack. Now evil Jack and his presence. Again, what do we have here? A cool multi-scale. Jack putting pressure to our protagonist, his wife. And of course, an amazing scene. He appears from the darkness. I love how dynamic is this scene. This movement serves to put pressure on her. He's going in, she's trying to like get out. It's like a dance. It works very well. And besides, let's use the location to create this new method to put pressure onto her. And now we go to like the next level of it. Let's put some pressure in the same composition where she's. And what do we have here? We have him putting direct pressure to him, like touching her. This kind of composition unifies them in the same shot. It's getting closer. And yes, in a certain way, she is putting pressure into him because, as we can see right here, we have Jack Nicholson, and right here we have a bat. So the baseball bat. So this element is on top of him. And as we can see, it's like close to him. So there's like another sense, another kind of pressure. It's beautiful. It's like a dynamic dance of tension. And let's continue with the tension. Here we go. She's invading her space, her vital space, right in this part right here. They're getting closer. We break the tension with a different kind of shot. Good fall from the guy that wears Jack Nicholson's clothes. It's quite amazing, yeah? Do you remember these knives? This movie has everything I love. Hotels, psychopaths, and snow. And again, another chapter basically interrupting thoughts or the scene to create what? More tension. And here again, we can see how the evil parts of the hotel are like pushing him, are like scratching his main frustration, related to responsibility. He's not at the level of his responsibility as father, as a professional, as a writer, with his job. I think that motivation is very well thought in this movie. His motivation. It sounds crazy because how would you understand somebody like wanting to kill their family? But you can see how the evil hotel manipulates him and goes to directly to talk to his frustration, to his pain, and creating a monster basically in a very subtle way. It's not like it's always subtle. That's what it's cool about this. I think this movie. Again, the creepy kid doing a little bit of good old painting in the doors. Interesting that at the same time, more or less, there's another kid with a knife in the beginning of one amazing movie called Halloween, right? Halloween, 79, maybe 80s. Interesting cross of thoughts. Space of this movie nowadays would be impossible. I think my niece watching this movie, she would be like, what the fuck is this? An amazing moment, one of the most known scenes in movie history. We understand the space because we've seen it in the beginning. So how he chooses to shoot this scene is interesting. This moment is very, 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 very similar to like an old movie of director Sjöström. And the movie was The Phantom Carriage. In the movie, there's like a moment where the husband wants to kill the wife, and it's the same idea. He, with an axe, wants to, and voila. But it's very cool to compare both because you can see how Kubrick uses cinematic language, visual language, to do it his own way. And one of the things that I love, that I explain in this video, is how he uses the change of angle to show how Jack Nicholson completely lost his mind, and to signify, to like give depth to this moment, specific moment. He basically makes a quick change of angle, as we're going to see right now. Change of angle, 1 and 2. It's a cool way to make a 100-degree change angle that we saw before with Grady. And I would like to go back to this moment because it's very cool. We've been talking about a method that Kubrick uses a lot in this movie, that is basically the multi-scale. And I think that here it's probably the last multi-scale that he uses. Maybe you haven't seen it, but now I'm going to like prove it to you. That is like a very cool multi-scale. And before I show you this, please imagine yourself being in the cinema. Let's say that your head would be exactly like this little round blue circle that I have right here. So imagine being in the cinema and watching this. This is a multi-scale right here. Yeah, her in the background and the axe in the foreground. And again, imagine yourself in the cinema. Your head is this right here. That's an amazing shot. Why? Because literally the axe is invading her vital space, as I showed before. You know, it's very violent to see this in the cinema. And this multi-scale creates violence. Crazy stuff. It is basically this element is touching her. Look at this one. It's really, really pretty. This, you can think like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Right here, good frames of madness. How he holds this shot is so good. Why? Because right here, you need to like keep the tension. And that's what he does. But I think that they had to go through 30 doors to accomplish that shot, but it's incredible. It's so good. That little pause before the bam. With some good parallel editing, we reduce a little bit the tension and let's see what's going on. Incredible visuals that went directly to cinema history. Him with the axe, dragging his leg, her in the bathroom. Jesus, Holloway. I get super mistaken with the names. And I was wrong. There's another multi-scale right here. Beautiful one. Threat, Jack Nicholson and the victim. A question for you. What do you think he's going to do to, one, don't break the tension and make us like be expecting what is going to happen? Why would you break this amazing shot? It sucks that I cannot put this. Can I put this on YouTube? Let's analyze this because it's very, very cool. So he arrives here, perfect location. From this moment, multi-scale of threat. We don't know where he's going to be. Actually, he's going to be right here, my friends. But anyway, then we go directly to the shot that lasts from here to here. And right here, he's going to cut. He's going to do 2 different shots. Violent, quick shots. We go from like a general shot, let's say, to like a quick, very fast medium shot and an explicit fast close-up with a fast insert of Danny. Method repeatedly used in the movie. The Barbary. And probably one of the best shots in the whole movie. He just committed the worst crime ever, killing somebody. The hotel at this moment doesn't matter. He is the first responsible of his madness, let's say. And how do we shot him, blurry background, and him on the foreground? Transformation has happened. Is there something more scary than this? The person that you love the most is, following you in an empty hotel in the middle of nowhere, trying to kill you with an axe. Heavy stuff. More creepy stuff. Here Kubrick goes all in with creepy shit to people dressed as animals having sex. And again, his logic with the use of visual language. And now we're going to see the last scene of the movie, the chase in the maze. That's how it has to end, maybe, but it's, I don't know, it's the part that I like the least. Boom. Nice. Fantastic. Doing these videos, it's so difficult because you get into the movie and it gets difficult, you know, to like put your ideas into the thoughts. I don't know what you think about it, but I like the live energy of it. And here we have it. That's right. It seems like he tries to tap in a lot of different traumas. Like now in the maze, completely went crazy. He lost it. Nice cut. And we will end up with location as we started. It wasn't the hotel, but it was, you know, something bigger than the main characters. And to fuck with our heads even more, here we have it. 1921. And who is the caretaker? Our friend Jack Nicholson, Bella Bartok, Wendy Carlos. Amazing. So you guys, tell me if you like this kind of live reaction of me saying stuff about movies that I love. Yeah, I enjoy doing this kind of content. I think I'm having a good time and maybe you can learn something about it. So happy to do it again. Yeah, tell me in the comments if you like this. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and I'll see you in the next one. Stay kind.